What is going on, all-terrain nation? Whether it be two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, or any badass vehicle that you enjoy to drive, this is your all-terrain nation. I'm your host, David Boyd, and tonight, Mark will be here in a little bit. He's cooking a tomahawk steak or something, man. I'm like, that takes like 10 hours to do, millions of dollars. So I don't know what that's like. But tonight we are going to talk automobiles, and we got some problems, and we're going to talk the Toyota. That's right, the Toyota brand, because I actually have a press loan coming up of the new 4Runner, and I'll be in Arizona with the thing. So you want to check that out because it's going to be a lot of fun. We are going to invade the Overland Expo. I don't know what they call this in West. I don't know. They have so many of them anymore that I can't keep up with what they call these things. But cheers, everybody. I'm going to cheers you to Monster at the moment. Oh man, I just rushed to throw some food down my gullet. So yeah, trying to get in there and be ready. But hopefully this new time's working out for everybody. And if you're watching this after the fact, join in, have some fun. We're going to be here on Sunday nights at 7 p.m. Central, which is 8 p.m. Eastern, and I think 5 Pacific, something like that. Join in live or after the fact, watch it, enjoy it that way. There's no wrong way to enjoy the show. A lot of people like to man, my grammar tonight, like to join in on the live conversation here. So that's why they do it on Sunday nights with us. So there you go. Definitely happy Mother's Day. Michael Nice, Kelly, Michael Nice said happy Mother's Day. Kelly's downstairs enjoying her dinner, as it were, but I will tell her, Michael, and to all the mothers out there, we have a lot of ladies in here enjoy the show. So happy Mother's Day if you have a child, animal, whatever you want to call Mother's Day. I don't care because there's no rules anymore, right? So we're once again we are going to be at Overland Expo West, I believe it is, coming up here, and pretty excited. I've had a lot of I want to bring this up. I've had a lot of manufacturers reaching out. Sorry, trying to do this all one-handed there. Wanting us to check out their latest products and stuff, which is fun. Let's see, there it is, West. I want to make sure I pulled up the right one there. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, and there's a couple new refrigerator companies that I'm looking at, and I assume they always want to do business of some sort. They that's generally why they reach out to me, is like, hey, will you review our product and check it out? And we might. I don't know. I like to, especially when I'm going to an event like this where you can actually go to and see the product before kind of having to weed out the bad companies out there before we review any products. But I am interested in some new Overland gear. We're definitely going to with ATN Off-Road, you're going to see a lot more reviews with Overland gear, stuff like that over on that channel. Remember to subscribe to All Terrain Nation podcast. That's a separate channel because eventually these will go away on the main channel here, and it would strictly be just the podcast channel. But we're only like 170 subscribers, something like that over there right now. So with your help, smash that like button, do all the fun things. We can do that. But this will be my first year Overland Expo. I for years have tried to get to the event here on the East Coast, and for whatever reason, it used to be my off-road event I put on was about the same time period. I think it was always the week after my off-road event, and I was working my full-time job, just could never, we all know what vacation time's like. It's hard to get a lot of vacation time and get to everything we want to do, which makes these events special, I think, at times. But for whatever reason, either that or it would just be a downpour. We're right now in Middle Tennessee. It's just been the rainy season for us. It's just day after day of just rain or sun. It's just either or. That's it. But Michael Nice, I'll bring it up in just a second. But yeah, so it always kept me away from being able to enjoy the expo here on the East Coast. So now I'm going to the granddaddy of them all. The expo, the West, has always been, it was the original one, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun, man. Of course, many people don't know this, but Overland Expo was bought out. The website, the forum, everything, the magazine, everything was bought out by the group of, what are they? Expedition Overland, whatever they're called. They bought this out, and I don't know. I haven't figured out if that is the world of overlanding starting to contract a little bit. That maybe it's not as popular as it once was. I don't think so. I think what I will see out west, because anytime I go out west and get to experience that style of off-roading, man, it's always huge. There's always people camping everywhere I go to Moab or wherever, there's always lots of people camping out there having fun using the tools. You know, I saw a couple weeks back, I saw some I forget Driveline or whoever it was, they were kind of ragging on the overland community, which kind of pissed me off only because, and I don't consider myself really an overlander, but it pissed me off that people were like, oh, there's just people buying stuff to, you know, mod out their vehicles, whatever. But you know what? A long time ago, I learned the lesson of if it makes that person happy to either kit their vehicle out, maybe they don't ever use it, but it made them happy building that, don't crap on them about it. I see, trust me, especially in the Bronco community, I see so many people. Kelly will bring stuff to my attention of people in like the ladies groups and stuff, things they want to do, and they just rag on these, you know, people rag on these people, and I just don't even care anymore. I just, if it makes you happy, it's your vehicle. Go out and explore, do whatever you want to with it, and have fun. But yeah, the Driveline, I believe it was, they just had it was, I didn't, it was well said, well read, I will say, but I just didn't feel, I felt like it was somebody that just sort of hated on overlanding, and they just didn't like it. So they were gonna, oh, there's a chance where sales might be down on certain products. It was easy way to do that. But with the sale of this, I have to think, is it over? Was the boom from the pandemic where everybody was buying all these camping gear and all this stuff, and now are we kind of on the downside of it? I don't know. But I am excited to definitely get to see the mecca of overlanding. But let's see. There was something I wanted to say there. Michael Ness says ATN has been pumping out the videos. I have been, and I think I've said this a little bit in the past. We've had a bad couple months. The algorithm for YouTube is just suddenly not showing my videos to people, and that's why I keep pushing the like button stuff and to subscribe and all that, because for whatever reason, I can't figure it out. I know YouTube's down a little bit for car stuff, but mine has just been cut in half. So I'm really working to get it back up there, because it started with the Chicago Auto Show when we were supposed to be there covering that, and that's usually a nice boost for my first of year. And when I was sick, didn't get to do that. Ever since then, it's just been playing catch up. So that Michael Nice, which is why I've been trying to crank the videos out, and some of it is getting ready for we're on these press trips coming up, so they're got that going on. Let's see. Yeah, watchers will slowly come in. Douglas Blair. That's the next thing too. That's why we've changed the format on this just ever so slightly. Allie, Kelly, Jess will still be on here from time to time, but they I'm just trying to figure it a little more simpler. We talked about it last week. Mr. Mark, who is in the back door, and Mark can let himself in now. Mark, he has the access code to do that. That's why I'm just trying to do me and Mark for a while, just to see if does it make a difference. Hopefully it does, but if not, let's go ahead and bring Mark in. There's Mark.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Mark, I gave him the keys to let himself in the door, and suddenly, like 20 minutes ago, I gave him these keys, and I know there's some figuring out to that. But Mark has ATN off-road shirt on.
Right?
Mark, you know how well that. So I want to talk about this, and we'll get back into the expo. When you were walking around with me, we did that walk around video, man. We were having a blast. I had a Bloody Mary in hand. Was having letting go a little bit, man, for the week we had. You were in your green ATN off-road shirt, which you got. I printed a bunch of those, and you're like, hey, I need one, grab it. But I have to say that shirt stands out so well in videos, man. I look at that and I'm like, it's like ATN Santa there or something. I don't know what, but
that's the right length. No beard, no coverage. Like,
I know.
I mean, yeah, it's great. It was a good, we gave you a little bit of flack on the color choice, but I gotta say it works out pretty well.
What color shirts should we get, Mark?
Everyone gets the standard like gray and black and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I'm a fan of color. Like, I like the green. I'd like to see maybe a sand.
Okay.
Thanks, Douglas. Pick up, and I would like us to see get ones that coincide. Like, if we know Toyota's going to do a big release, mm-hmm. part of their release is a new color. It's a TRD Off-Road Pro, whatever. Maybe we try to throw a couple of shirts together in that color to kind of call that out and celebrate it. Something that's on the website that you can order through, our t-shirt company and select that particular color, that sort of thing.
It's all about the Benjamins, according to one of the comments. Emily, they will be back there. I promise you, the girls will be back. We're just trying something new for a couple weeks to see if it makes a difference, because, well, as you can see right now, the viewers have not been where they were. So let's see. Unbridled Bronco is checking in. Good thing you're not wearing the green screen. Or yeah, I could actually make him fade away real quick. Just a floating head, that would be great. But Mark, so I started leading into Overland Expo. We all go out this week for that. Have you not been to Arizona? I can't remember. It seems like there was something.
I actually lived in Arizona for several years,
okay.
But not in the Flagstaff area. I was down in Sierra Vista, Hereford, down on the border.
Okay. So, all right. So this is like northern Arizona is completely different, man. It's
not what I hear. I'm kind of looking forward to it. Like mountains and
hoodies. You're definitely going to want some layers and hoodies, because it's mid 60s what I've seen so far. But sunny, our outcome is looking better for that. But yeah, I've only been. I mean, I've driven through Flagstaff. Pison area was really just a beautiful. Almost remind me of Colorado. Yeah, I think we're going to see a really cool area of Arizona there, and I'm excited for the event. I was just talking about people. Is overlanding dead? And I don't think it is.
No.
The recent news came out that Overland Expo was bought by Expedition Overland. I mean, there's so many Overland names here; it's getting confusing. But and I'm thinking, okay, is it kind of everything compacting back to where it was? Like, are we shrinking and for some of these companies to survive, is this how they do it? Or is it just the Overland Expo guys? God, I'm gonna have to bring it up. Clay and those guys, are they just now so big that they're able to kind of hey, we want you, we want to own you, we want to do our own thing with it?
I think it's probably more the latter, as they see their all the different expos grow. I think Clay saw an opportunity to bring another one under his wing and continue to kind of grow that thing. What is the one they just had one in North Carolina?
The Moore show.
Yeah. So I think there's overlanding is alive and well. I mean, you see it all the time, especially in Tennessee where we're at. I mean, I constantly see fully done rigs, stuff that's getting ready to go. People kind of getting in the process of kitting stuff out. So I don't think Overland's going anywhere. And depending on how things go across the country, I mean, that's more and more of a escape for people. Like, they don't want to deal with the hustle and bustle, and we see a lot of it. Unfortunately, everyone thinks they're an influencer. And they see the very few that are successful. And we really saw it during the pandemic. All those people that were living out of vans for a couple of years, doing constant streaming and daily life, follow me, get ready with me. This is what it's like, my morning's life in my van. I think people are still trying to capture that. And as we see slow down in some of the industry markets, not auto, but retail and some other things based off what's going on globally, I think we'll see more people trying to get out there and do this sort of stuff.
Right. Well, one thing that I will say, X Overland here has taken heat on is they're a Christian-based kind of organization. And I've already seen the Overland community fussing and cursing this, that oh, is it going to be, Bibles handed out to all this stuff? And I'm like, guys, that's not they're just a faith-based family. I've never heard them preach on any of their videos and stuff. So I was interested to the news when this came out, of the instant reaction of people going, hey, what's going on? Are they going to change everything? Or are going to do that? I think we'll get a good feel. Clay and those guys will definitely be out there. We'll get a good feel, I think, for the future of the event. I have a feeling there's going to be some news about this popping while we're out there. But for me, like, I loved watching X Overland guys, man. They were fun to watch. The early videos, and I don't know if people remember this, was just them going to Moab, had really no clue of seemingly what they were doing. Like they went to Moab and they had this plan of going up, I forget what trail it is, up towards Alaska. And that was it. Like the videos were pretty well done. And Clay has a video production background. Like he was doing a lot of movie stuff in TV shows and stuff like that. So it was the perfect guy to start filming. Hey, we're doing this. And overlanding, especially I remember hearing overlanding used as a term like 7, 8, 9 and it really started catching on by 12, 13. And that's when these guys with their video series started popping up. But like overlanding in general, man, like it's been whatever you call it, car travel or whatever you want to, the family vacation. I don't care what you call it. But do you remember seeing photos of like people going out west from the East Coast where they would be in a station wagon? And there were only state roads to get out west. And they had not rooftop tents like we would style today, but they had ways of doing that. They had their Coleman stoves and stuff. They would stop on the side of the road, cook lunch, do that. And, it's always been in America to explore. So I think with Overland guys taking this over, hopefully they take it to the next level. Once again, rag on them for whatever they want. They've built a team over the past 10, 12, 13 years that, it's pretty interesting. But it leads me back to, Overland Expo West and what some of the stuff we're going to see, man. I mean, there's going to be, like you were saying earlier, there's influencers everywhere and they love these things. And I'm not going out there as an influencer, guys. I'm an auto journalist, and that's what me and Mark's goal is to go out as. Now, do we like kitting out vehicles? Of course we do. So we're going to geek out on all the fun stuff like this. And I have to leave my credit card at home, Kelly said, because she knows, hey, he might try to go start buying things. And then if Mark does, I'm going to have to jump in rally. And somehow me and Mark come back with like 2 new Toyotas and something else. I don't know what, kitted out campers everywhere, pulling trailers. I don't know what. Can we put a trailer on the back of the plane?
Oof, that would be the one big thing that I would look at this event. Would be some sort of overland camping trailer to pull with the Bronco. Like that would be ideal. If we go out to Windrock or we go out to any of the other parks. I mean, you and Kelly did it going up to Badlands in Indiana.
That was a great. Other than that, I would have liked a little bit bigger camper.
Right.
Other than that, I love doing that. That was fun.
But yeah, I would like to have something that if we wanted to just, we make a decision, let's get away for the weekend. Let's go park over here. And, back in the old days, as you brought up earlier, like the old station wagon, those motor lodges that were all peppered along the highway and stuff. I mean, that's what they catered to. You literally just pulled off the highway, parked your car and crashed for the night, or they had a little campground set up where you could throw a fire down and cook something, and get and kind of explore some of that aspect of overlanding.
Yeah. Of course.
That right there all day.
Though I think when you see what you will see out here, you're going to go, well, that's a toy. I really do. I think you're going to go, okay, this is kind of a toy version, but also the ones we're going to see out there, you can get $150,000 in a goofy trailer, man. Like ridiculous. But if the shit hit the fan and you needed to bug out, it might be the way to do it. But yeah, you and Jess did an awesome video when we were out at SEMA, talking about this, and it's actually been a pretty good hit on the channel, man. It was I think y'all's first video on the channel, by the way. And we shared it over at ATN Off-Road. But yeah, so and then the comment here of like, I forget what you said, something about Jess.
Well, something about Jess loves to be in the kitchen or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. There was nothing bad about that. But yeah, no, I'm very, very excited because, we have Mills Creek Overland here who they kit out cars and stuff, but they can't afford to have all the toys like we're about to see in their little showroom. So Expo West for you, what is the thing that you're like, I have to see something like this?
First, I've never been to an expo, Overland Expo. So I'm interested to see just what it is. I mean, I've lived pretty heavily in the off-road market and not so much overlanding. So I'm very interested to just see what it has. What do they have to offer? And I know some of the people that'll be out there, they'll offer stuff that we see similar in just regular off-roading. but I'm interested to see all of it. I want to see and take in kind of the breadth of it. I'm sure it's going to be quite like SEMA. It'll be overwhelming as you're scrolling down this list. But I want to kind of see everything, and then I want to go to see what do I know Toyota's got a booth, or any other manufacturers out there showing off something major to bring to market. And then kind of running around, we'll probably hand pick a few Overland companies that we want to definitely make sure we hit up and check out their booths and see what they're kind of bringing. But like, you just scrolled past U-Haul. I probably don't need to check out the U-Haul booth, but
what if they did? What if U-Haul started doing some sort of camper, but it still was in the chrome or the kind of platinum look with the orange writing on the side of it?
I mean, you could very easily convert a U-Haul van into an Earth Roamer style, because a lot of them are on E350 chassis and stuff like that. So I mean, they've got the engine power and they've got the capabilities, but I'm just trying to take it in. This first one will definitely be a little overwhelming. Try to take it in. We're going to run through the partner list and, like I said, kind of hone in and focus on a few. But excited to get out there and kind of get this experience.
Yeah. I am. I'm looking at the admission for people if you're interested in the area. Obviously, you'd probably, if you're in the area, about this and you've probably been there many times. But weekend pass $85, Friday day pass $32, Saturdays $42. Pretty much in line, I think, with most events. I do love the fact that they do the camping stuff, the camping passes and stuff. And I know part of our media, which was hilarious to me, part of our media passes was the ability to camp there if we wanted to,
right?
Which is I thought at one time maybe we drive out to this, but now I'm like, no, I'm not outfitted enough. And then what, the older I get, I do like a good hot shower and just not have to worry about other people all the time.
Well, and especially it's an event like that. I mean, we run into it at Supercell, as we're going out as journalists, not influencers, not anything else. We're going out as journalists. Friday night when we get done shooting and talking and doing interviews and stuff like that, like we have to cut film and publish and post. What's the connectivity out, at that campground? We have to have some level of connectivity when we go out in this function to ensure that we can bring it back to, ATN and ATN off-road to make sure that people see what it is that we're out there doing.
Well, I got to break real quick. Miss Maya says she got gold. So Miss Maya,
way to go, Maya,
one of our special fans, and she's a swimmer, and she does great with that. Congratulations, Maya. So wrapping down on the expo, man. You guys head out. You're
Wednesday.
leaving before me. You're picking up your first press vehicle.
Super excited. I still got to sign the waiver. Like they haven't emailed me. So, but this is kind of cool. Like we went out, to SEMA as press. But this, I feel, is really our first like official press trip.
Right.
And that's exciting. We've kind of helped with the launch of ATN off-road, and this is right in the meat of that sort of thing. And it's exciting. We do this for the love of it and to help ATN and you and Kelly out and stuff like that. And just because we like to, and by no means, just for everybody out there, like ATN doesn't foot our bills. Like, we're bringing ourselves out.
ATN doesn't foot my bills, man.
Well, I mean, but so if anybody's out there like, oh, Mark and Dave are friends and like that, nope. Jess and I foot our bills. Like we pay our way. We do this for the love and the support. Like we love the community. We love helping to grow the channel and stuff like that. So having an opportunity to get a press vehicle cut to us blows our mind. We're like, we're not that type of people. But it's pretty cool, man. And excited to get it and then do a review on it because we're going to spend a little time driving it. We're going to take it out to the Grand Canyon. And then, of course, around the expo and stuff like that. So pretty excited about it.
Yeah. And wait till you have a press vehicle that says manufacturer plates on it and you show up to an event like this. Suddenly people are going to look at you like, oh, it's somebody from Toyota. It's somebody from Toyota. I know. Like, oh, what are they going to do? Like that. You'll see weird looks. It'll be funny. But yeah, I'm excited. I've yet to get to drive the 4Runner. So you'll have driven that vehicle before I have. But definitely, hopefully Mark or Jess can write something for ATN, All Terrain Nation website. And of course, imagine having the hottest overlanding vehicle in the hottest overlanding area. Like that's pretty freaking rad. But then they have to pick me up, though, is the bad part. So
Dave's, be a little chauffeur, pick up
I know.
Davey. I'm gonna get a little sign. Dave, OnlyFans.
Only Fords. No, I've been trying. So I have been trying to get another press vehicle to bypass this, but no news yet on that. But because I would like to. There's two vehicles. I won't say what they are. Obviously, 4Runner, but the other one I'd like to compare next to it. But they haven't reached back to me just yet. But so maybe we'll be one vehicles, maybe we'll be two. But either way, it's going to be fun to be able to be in the 4Runner and check it out. I reached out because I don't even know which model we're getting just yet. So I reached out for the Maroni on that, see if we could so I could start studying up on that just a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you guys will be out there early. I fly in Friday morning. I'll be there, and it's only 2.5 hours up to Flagstaff.
Something like that. So yeah, we'll pick you up and then heads probably straight up to the event and kind of get in there and spend Friday.
So I think our badging is at the KC. KC has a storefront there now. So we'll pick up our badging from there and then head over and check it out. And then Saturday we'll be there all day. Hopefully no rain. In the past, they've had some rain at that point, but the weather forecast looks great for us, other than just a little chilly. I go to Arizona for heat and somehow colder than Tennessee. That's been my trips, my press trips for 25, man. I go to where it's supposed to be warm, and suddenly it's colder than where I'm at. So
San Diego was awful for you. Let's not bring that to Arizona. Let's have a great trip to Arizona.
Fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed. And speaking of bringing things, I want to talk about this here. Let me bring this up. Some stories came out this week that Nissan is revamping dealers, which I don't really care about, but Ford is raising some prices. Now they just did the with all the tariffs and stuff, and I don't want to get into political nation on this because I really don't care. But Ford is with tariffs coming in, they're building Maverick in Mexico, they're building the Bronco Sport in Mexico, and a few other things, and so they're having to somewhat compensate that price and starting to raise prices of those vehicles. I did read that Maverick would be base around 30,000 now, which is crazy to me, thinking in 2020 it came out as a $19,900 vehicle.
Right.
It shows what inflation's done, plus additional tariffs have done to that vehicle. And there's still other brands. I know General Motors builds a lot of things in the area. I believe Ram builds their 1500s, some of their 1500s down in Mexico as well. So we're going to start seeing, there was that everybody a month ago was like, oh, we're going to do employee pricing for everybody. And now it's like, psych.
Well, and I think the employee pricing was to try to waylay some of the fears about what's happening now. You look at Ford, the Nissan stuff, Stellantis, they're shutting down lines. There's 900 people being temporarily laid off for that. I think they were waiting to see what was going to happen with the tariffs, as they did not move. And being in retail myself, I see it on a daily basis. We have a lot of stuff that's made overseas, and because of that cost has to get offset somewhere. And I want to say, isn't it 25%, even though vehicles are touted as made in the US, it's still 25% are internet, or 25% of the parts are still shipped in internationally. So you've got to offset those costs somewhere. And unfortunately, at this point in time, it's down at the consumer. When you have inflation up, the tariffs, prices are going to go up. The nice thing would be if tariffs were to ease, to see the prices go down. But I'm afraid that once we see this benchmark, they're just going to be what they are. And we'll have to adjust to them.
Yeah, you never see, especially in the auto world, you never see prices go up and then suddenly they rescind those prices.
Right.
And we saw it with COVID. like everything went up. Dealers were overcharging for anything, you know, like with the Bronco Raptor. It started out at being like a mid $70,000 SUV. And then when dealers got a hold of it, they were getting $100K for it. So Ford went, hey, we're going to get now $100K for it. And now people are fussing. And then Ford's now having to, with inflation, having to, I will say they have lowered the price of that vehicle only through rebates. But retail prices never coming back down from where it is now. And I fear for companies like Nissan and some of these where the Sentra is built, which is a high volume vehicle for them. There's other companies down there. You know, Toyota just moved to the Tacoma down to Mexico to be built. And so like everybody's scrambling. And one thing about this is everybody's equally hurting. And
Yeah.
and speaking of hurting, Jeep, I know that they're in the news, and I want to bring this article up as well because Gladiator sales are down. And this comes to us from the Detroit News. It says Stellantis pauses the Jeep Gladiator production due to part issues. Now, I will say this, yes, part issues. My where my story just went. There it goes. But yes, I think some of these parts are due to they're coming from Mexico, like you were saying, Mark, or they're coming from across the globe. I know I never realized it till the pandemic hit, and I started researching stuff back then. Most wiring harnesses for vehicles are built in the Ukraine. Why? I have no idea. I don't know why that's a specialty deal, but a lot of companies, their wiring harnesses come from there. So that back in COVID, that was a problem of getting stuff here, manufacturing. You know, they built it slow to build, and then trying to ship all that over here was slow. Of course, I know if you look on any of the you know, with the whole NAFTA and stuff, how they put on the side of the Maronis now of, hey, this is 53% assembled in America. You know, here's Mexico and Canada as well. It's just making a mess of things right now. And whatever you feel about tariffs or whatever, they are here. You can't deny politically they're here. And I did read today that the current administration looks like China might be making a deal.
So yeah, I saw something with that too that said that the Trump had come out and said that a deal had now no details on what the deal is.
It said Monday. That's what I read.
Yeah, but there was a deal struck. So interested to see where that goes.
Yeah, and things that I'm hearing as well about the Gladiator is they just don't know where to take this vehicle. I was told years ago that Gladiator was one and done.
Yeah.
And I didn't believe the person that told me that then. I was like, no, they don't, no manufacturer just comes out with a vehicle to go, bam, we did it once. That was fun. But it's seemingly kind of looking that way, man. Like that it could be a one and done vehicle. But according to this article, which I've been right at that sign. I parked the Bronco one time right in front of the sign. I think we did Gladiator as well in front of that sign. But according to this article, it's really just it's a parts issue. It's not really. I know they're really pushing to get volume back up on Gladiator. They're doing discounts, stuff like that. But when this comes down to it, this is all due to part shortages, and this has happened with them before. It happened last year with part shortages, and it's happened within this company, this mega turd of a company. Even though I love their products, management is a mess, but they seem to run into these. They had the same issue with their Illinois plant. They've had this issue all over the place. So hopefully they get it resolved. I know a lot of people love Gladiator. Have you really got to spend any time around the Gladiator?
Other than being around yours occasionally, like I never spent any real time in it. It was never that appealing of a vehicle to me. But
don't put a pin in that. Yeah. What is not appealing to you about this vehicle? I mean, don't just say Jeep.
No, I have nothing against Jeep. You know, Jeeps are just as great as Broncos. I know I'll get a big hiss on that. You know, people love their Jeeps as much as they love their Broncos. And I don't have anything against, I think Jeeps are great at what they do, and they have been for, you know, decades. So the combo of the two, having the Jeep front and the truck back, I think if it was more towards a throwback early Jeep truck, I'd have been more in line with it. But having a full 4-door plus the bed Now I have seen some setups that I really liked. I went, oh, they had specialty cabs on the back, kind of gave it a longer body look. And I thought, oh, that's a well-built Gladiator. But just at the initial sight of it, I just didn't see the appeal or need to it. And you had one, you were like, look, I can take the top off, I can take the doors off. I have a truck to do truck stuff. People that own them love them. People that own Datsuns love Datsuns. So, there's something for everybody. It's just not anything that ever really appealed to me. So I never delved too heavily into it. Whereas I did the regular Jeeps, I always look at when 392 came out and the 4xe and all that other stuff. I wanted to see what Jeep was doing, but the Gladiator never held anything for me.
Well, I have to show you my current my screen on my computer. So look at this. Lord. This is my screen on my background of my computer right now. That's how much I love this.
Yeah.
Like I love this concept that they did at Easter Jeep Safari, and would in a heartbeat, if they would have the balls to do this, which I really think they do, honestly. I think this is the direction they're going, because they did send out surveys of, hey, do you like, which style of the previous Jeep trucks do you like? And this, I forget what they called this one, one out by a landslide. And so I think that might happen. Now, obviously you are not going to get these amber lights and all this. You'll get a really proper running light, but right. I'm hoping to see this at Easter Jeep, or Easter Jeep Safari at Expo.
When we had that discussion on the live, like, I liked that concept. I liked the look of that, because there was a military nostalgia to me that drew me into that. But the Gladiator doesn't have that.
Yes. Oh, 100%. I agree.
If Jeep was to do a throwback like that, I would be all in on something like that. I think it is a cool looking vehicle. Again, it's niche, it's specialty. I don't care. I would still want one in the driveway. It's just a cool vehicle to have to drive.
Yeah. And I think you're right about the, too much Wrangler up front. I think why they do that, though, is they were testing the waters on this market. Like, will people go for this? Because, really a Jeep, we haven't seen a Jeep truck since what they used to call those in the late 80s, early 90s, the little pickup trucks, Comanches or
Comanche.
So we haven't got to see a Jeep truck in a long time. So I think they were a little nervous about it. And everything from the front door, well, honestly, everything but to the bed, as far as body wise, was Wrangler.
Yeah.
The doors, that's why the door in the back, the fourth door is small, because it's the exact door off a Wrangler. And then, of course, it is built on a Ram chassis. So it does have a higher strength steel, or a higher strength framing under it. So there was some compromises there. But I really hope for the brand that they're able to keep producing some fun stuff, because they really do. Till Stellantis bought them, really, like, Jeep was just, their trajectory was up.
Yeah.
And I think Fiat and even Daimler Chrysler before them knew, leave them alone. Let the creatives, this is the creatives playground. Let them be creative. Let them have fun. We're going to do our volume cars, whether it be the 1500 Ram pickup or whatever. We have the money-making volume vehicles, but let Jeep have some fun. And it bothers me that I guess towards late of Fiat and early in Stellantis, that they've decided we need a Wrangler sub-brand or a Wagoneer sub-brand. Well, we need all these EV products. And they're still going down this path, Mark, of like, we want to be an EV company. And I'm like, why? Like, I guess other than maybe the money the billions and billions that they've shoved into that, you're kind of like, well, I'm kind of forced to, but why would you just do this?
I don't know. And especially for something like Jeep, where you're an off-road company. Let's face it. Like, yeah, we see mall crawling Jeeps all day long. I mean, they're, some of the models are a dime a dozen. But why would you throw yourself fully into off-road and EV, knowing that the support's not there? Yeah. Like, if we were to buy a new Wrangler that was fully EV, you couldn't take it anywhere. You can't go to Moab. You can't go, Windrock or, somewhere out on the coast or something like that to offer. There's no infrastructure. There's no support for that sort of thing. Now, Scout's getting around that with the Harvester Edition having that ranged extender, but it's still only adding a little, a few more miles to it. But you've got to, you've got to look at the infrastructure. You have to look at the market. You got to stop looking at all of the kickbacks and incentives that the government's giving you and look at, hey, yeah, it's great the government wants to give me billions of dollars to develop EV, but if the government's not developing billions of dollars worth of infrastructure, my EVs, they'll never sell. They'll just sit in driveways. They'll fail.
I will say, I don't know if you've read any of this or not, where the previous administration sunk $5 billion into charging stations, and they've yet to build one. And I watched a very left-leaning show on this, and I'm not getting political, but I'm just saying it was the crowd who would want this, seemingly. And I think they were talking to Jon Stewart, and this person was telling Jon Stewart, like, hey, the state had to come up with plans, then the federal government had to approve the plans, but then the state had to bring the new plans back for the government. It was like this never-ending process of bureaucracy that was never going to come to fruition, or if it did, it'd be in 30 years. Well, and at the end of the day,
just government, it's just the great catch-22.
Yeah,
that is all it is.
Well, it turned into a feeding system, I'm sure, for bureaucracy and way they can funnel money. But at the end of the day, the people that you tricked in, I won't say trick, I guess that's not a good word. The people that you led to, hey, we're going to be a clean energy country, you just pulled the rug right out from under them, because at no point did they build any chargers, and they didn't help anybody. That now all these people rush to buy vehicles with this big $7,500 tax credit, and suddenly my town's got one charger that we're all fighting for, or and I do look at Tesla, though. I know Tesla's not in vogue right now because of Elon with this current administration, but you know what they are? They're not a car company. They're a tech company that's also your next fuel station.
Right.
Like, they were so smart to get away. I mean, they're 10 years ahead of everybody on charging stations.
Oh, absolutely. And we always laugh when we're traveling, we stop at Buc-ee's, because the backside of the parking lot, there's 25, 30 EV stations, and they're all hedged out. You've got your Tesla over here, and you've got your Nissan, and you've got your Mercedes.
Yeah.
And if you're not using your brand of charger, you're getting charged a little extra for that electricity. But there's always somebody at some of the stations. So some of the infrastructure is out there, and Tesla's, they're the groundbreaker. Like that tech company saw and understood what the future looks like and went after it.
I think my local Target this year, first year, they put in 16 Tesla chargers out in front of it. Now, in the world scheme of things, that's not a ton, but guess what? I drive by there every morning to go get my Chick-fil-A, and guess what's there?
16.
Every brand of car is out in front of that thing up there charging. So,
and a lot of people were bamboozled into hey, you can just put a charger at your house.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you've got a $400 electric bill and all this other stuff. Like, they really didn't understand.
Electric bill now.
Right. Okay, seriously.
Can I have the cheaper one?
What's that?
Can I have that cheaper electric bill then?
But people don't want to charge at home. They don't have the fast charge there for the most part. And it was really affecting people's overall, electric bill and their ability to provide for their household. So they would rather go to one of those superchargers and get charged up faster. And because you're using that particular facility, it's less money, out of the pocket. So,
yeah, it does boggle my mind. And then, last week we kind of, I won't say picking on, but we definitely brought to attention that, hey, all these new EV companies, Slate and all this. Oh, we're going to shove all this 150-mile range, which is funny. I'm trying to bring this up. Doug DeMuro had a great take, which is funny because if I say the exact same thing, people just chalk it off that he's crazy dude. But if Doug says it, it seems to be more of the word. And he's definitely in the industry longer than I am. But there is let's see, I want to make sure I find this. All right, so he has a new channel called This Car Pod Clips, and I want to bring this up and share this real quick, because he had some interesting take on this situation. So let me bring this up.
Okay, next one. This is a big one. Filippo, tell us about it. All right, this is the new Slate. Filippo was there when the cover was truck, and you then buy the additional seats and roof that goes in the SUV.
Sorry, I'm trying to quickly find
That's interesting. That's one of my problems, by the way. This is a two-door.
It's a two-door.
The market doesn't want two doors.
Yeah, but the market might want two doors. There's none for sale. Nobody knows.
Okay, well, let's go through some of the two-door SUVs that have...
The Bronco.
No, the Wrangler is the best example of it. The Wrangler was a two-door for years and years, and they came out with a four-door. Do you know the mix now? It's 85-15. The four, and by the way, I wasn't just talking about SUVs, pickups too.
Yep.
I should have been more prepared on that. But he goes in on the state of EV and some of the charging issues, and then like he just trashes this poor little truck, and he's like, "You'll never see it." And I've said this for 2.5 weeks now. You'll never see this vehicle come to fruition because of the state of charging and the cost of that particular vehicle. But I'll throw this link in the comments so down the road you guys can watch it if you want. It's a really good, it's about 10 minutes or so, but it's a really good clip to go check out. Mark, main topic tonight is Toyota, buddy.
Yeah.
And of course we hinted a little bit at it, but we talking about the 4Runner, and getting to drive it now. I've driven the previous, I think the 22 was the last 4Runner that I did drive, which trust me, nothing changed from from basically 12 on to 23, but the last one I did drive was that. And I on ATN, I want you guys to go over to ATN, the website, and I dropped some opinions on this along with a video. But I look at this vehicle, I think, in the wrong light. I think a lot of times with the 4Runner, I was, with the new one coming out, I was like, oh man, it's too expensive. You look at the TRD Pro or the Trail Hunter, and you're like, Christ, $70,000+ for that, and that's ridiculous. And I'm assuming your first impression at $70,000 is what?
It better be on the more luxury side than what I've seen, because I mean, and I've seen several iterations, as we all have, and some of the older stuff. It was designed like the Bronco. It was designed to be off-road. So it was designed with plastics and easy to move and easy to use stuff. And it always felt very dated. Like they don't ever, hey, this isn't broke, so we're not going to fix it. We're going to have the same gauge cluster, same infotainment cluster, and all that rest of that stuff. So that's, as I've seen the new one roll out, I'm like, okay, you've made some changes. Like this looks like a new, updated, I won't say, funner vehicle.
No, it definitely, they've modernized it up a little bit. And I initially didn't like the Tacoma looks of it. Obviously, this looks very similar to Tacoma. But it's grown on me, especially once you put like a more of aggressive looking wheel tire package on it. It seems to come together. Toyota's the worst out of any company about putting an aggressive tire on there. They're so scared to mess with those first 6 months, feedback they get from customers. They don't want bad feedback, so they just would rather put something weak on there. And I think you have such an aggressive looking vehicle like these two are right there, and you're like, the wheels look just awful. Like it's like somebody went to the gym and skipped leg day or something. I don't know, something like that. But
I think the blue one in that photo, definitely. I think the white one's a little more aggressive. I think it's got a little bit different styling wheel in there, probably a little beefier tire to it.
Well, they just did press drives on these. They I know our friends Tommy over at TFL. I was checking with them about they did comment about, hey, every model seems to have a different brand of tire, like a different style of tire on it. But my point was, I remember seeing 70 mid 70s for one of these, going, holy shit, dude, that's ridiculous. Seeing how I think you could get an old TRD Pro for 58. Like, they jumped the shark on this. But then I was writing this article that's up here now, and I started kind of researching where we were at with Wrangler, where we're at with Bronco. And if I were to buy a Bronco today, a Badlands, say, versus the TRD Pro, obviously there are some differences. They're not complete apples to apples. Structurally, the 4Runner is going to be a better vehicle because it does have a actual hard top to it. You know, it's actually structurally part of the vehicle, where the Jeep and Bronco may not ride as well. I think they ride great, but past that. But you start looking, I can't touch a damn Badlands for 68 maybe now.
Yeah.
How I would want it when comparing to the maybe the TRD off-road versions, which are pretty similar. Yeah, you're not getting the hood scoops or all the fake stuff that they like to do on that, but pretty comparatively, man, you're getting a pretty on par vehicle with some of these.
Yeah, I agree with that. And everything's coming up. I mean, from what we saw from launches years ago and stuff like that. And I mean, if you look across the board with all manufacturers, they're all starting to streamline how things look. Like when they relaunched Ranger in 19 through 23, little sleeker front end, more kind of sedanish. And then in 24, they said, no, make it look like an F-150. We want all the trucks to look the same.
Yeah.
And I think you're seeing that across manufacturers as a whole. And that's why, you know, 4Runners look like Tacomas.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I think they do that for parts purposes. And, you know, when you see a vehicle now, it's just screams, that's a Ford, that's a Toyota, that's a Jeep. Like, as soon as you see it, you know what you're looking at.
Yeah. Well, you know, for them, like Hilux has been globally just a leader of truck sales. And even Hilux has now they've all brought into the same chassis platforms, trying to redundancies, cost savings that way. So yeah, you're dead on with that.
Yeah. And, but I think we're going to get to a point where 65, 70 is the baseline for this size SUV or vehicle. And then it's going to get, you know, upwards of there as you start marking it out the way you want it. And I'm saying mid-range, you're going to find, you know, the base, you know, the entry level stuff will be probably still mid 50s or something like that. But there's not a lot of people that jump in on the baseline.
Yeah. I mean, 100%. Like
most people will jump right into mid package straight out the gate and start, you know, doing their add-ons from there.
Yeah. 100%. You know, you look at Bronco, really the base went away and it came back, but that's not the base that it was. It's basically the Big Bend or whatever trim. Its price went dramatically up. What, 28, I think, is what a two-door base started out at.
Yeah.
And I think now it's what, almost 40.
Almost 40. Yeah.
And you look at the Jeeps. Let me pull up the Jeep real quick because it's part of the conversation. I did a build and price today on so I'm trying to compare the Outer Banks to the Sahara, which is they're kind of on the same par. So I've been all over Jeep's website with a video I did today, and let's see what I want to bring up their website and just see what they start out at, because I really haven't paid too much attention. So here's Jeep's Jeep's lineup with everything but something off-road. But a Wrangler $32,000 is what they say they start out at. Let's just see what a very beater version of that would be. I love the fact that most of these companies still have 24s on the lot.
Right.
We're in May now, and they're still saying, hey, you want to buy a vehicle from us? So 32 is what a Sport is in two-door, which is your Jeep. You don't get anything.
No,
I still think they're roll-up windows.
Like, I'm not mad about that, honestly.
I'm not either, but I'm saying I think that's how simplistic they've gotten. They might have gone to electric all the way now. I can't remember. I haven't been in a base Jeep in a long time.
Yeah.
But Sport S 2-door, 35,000. We get into the 4 doors, but look, like I was saying, the Sahara is only available now in 4 doors. Isn't that interesting? The Jeep or Ford did that with Bronco, and how each of them follow each other now. Of like, oh yeah, it's because nobody buys 2 doors, but
wait, this guy buys 2 doors.
well, I know you do, but you're a rare breed, sir.
So I'm told.
But look at this Rubicon X 4 doors, $62,000. Now front rear lockers with that, you get the sway bar disconnect and all that. But if Toyota can get 70s, and by the time you put anything in this Rubicon X, I'm telling you, you're $70,000. Because the Rubicon X, which I think is a stupid platform, just keep a Rubicon. But if they're loaded, decked out, you get all the fun features. You'll be in the 70s with that thing, and we don't even want to mention look. It's not the final version anymore. It's just the Rubicon 392.
Yeah.
$100,000 now for that one. And so if companies can get this, Ford gets it with their Bronco Raptors, Toyota's over there going, sure, 70,000 sounds great for us. Like, we're the bargain now.
Well, of course. I mean, and you'll see that across the board as someone creates something new. And as the price, my new thing costs more than your old thing. Well, now that old thing's going to cost more, because if people are going to start buying the new stuff for that, if I roll out some fancy new edition, the Ford Bronco Coastal package, I mean, what's that? $6,000. I think it's the add-on for that.
You know how not interested I was in that press release.
I
didn't read it. Do what, Mark?
I skimmed it just to see what it was, and then I hit delete rapidly because I was like, what a gimmick that thing is.
Yes.
But it's just another one of those. And we covered at SEMA the whole Ford Performance Garage. Like,
we saw that at SEMA.
They have some really cool things in that Performance Garage that I would much rather see getting rolled out than the Coastal package. But when you're adding, I think on a base, I think it was 5,900, and if you're putting it on the Badlands, it was like $3,000 because you didn't have to lift it because of the Sasquatch. But as every company is doing this stuff, like, someone else is going to come along and be like, hey, I re-released, the 4Runner. You guys are getting 70 for your mid. Once you do all your add-on, yeah, sure, you advertise just like the Slate. I'm going to tell you it's a sub 20 or 22 $1,000 vehicle until you want to put a headrest in it, and then it's 25 and 27, and so yeah, people are going to sit there and say, hey, we're sub 50s. But the instant you add a sway bar disconnect or some bigger tires or some other performance package, everybody's in line.
Yep. Of course, Toyota too, with the 4Runner, they have way too many trims. I mean, and this isn't a beat up on Toyota, because clearly Toyota sells so many because of quality. Like, I know a lot of people go, well, they could always do more horsepower, this and that. They don't purposely, because they don't want to push their engines to that 90 to 100%. They're happy at that 75 to 80% of horsepower. They know they're going to last forever. But we're looking at the SR5 here, Mark, and it starts at $40,000. Now it's no slouch by any means, but it's not something like, there's going to be features you definitely want. Like for me, I think the off-road, the TRD off-road is probably a good compromise if you want something, because for one, it's still sporty looking. You're getting some nice fog lights, it's a nice looking vehicle, and the interior of it, you get some nice features. Now, you're not going to get everything you want. Pull this up a little bit. But the interior, that's a nice looking interior.
That's nice.
I wouldn't complain about that. I do think the radio, their compromise of trying to go, well, we have this big dash spot for the I think it's a 14.3 inch radio. So, we got to offer something smaller. They should have just done what Jeep did there. Just put standardize the big screen, but you don't get all the features. That looks like a rental car to me when I see it looking like that.
Yep, 100%.
But overall, it's a nice vehicle. But you're going to want to probably step it up if unless you're wanting to build an off-road little beast, that might not be the one, might not be the one for you there. But then you got to look at, okay, I'm going to have to go into the higher packages, and then sorry, the stupid website. And then that's where you're starting to look at the money. So off-road premium, you want some of those features? Okay, $54,000. You want I want the iForce Max engine because I want all the horsepowers and I want the hybrid setup. Now the off-road premium is $57,000. And then we get into the bad boys, the Platinum, the TRD Pro, and the Trail Hunter. Now, I did say mid 60s is about where for a Bronco I would buy a Badlands Bronco. Trail Hunter, I would say, is pretty on par.
Yeah,
66,900. And I do remember seeing these prices 6 months ago when they were starting to drop, going, damn it, that's expensive. But I hadn't paid attention to pricing on the Bronco in a while, or the Jeep Rubicon in a while. And suddenly I got thinking, wow, these really aren't. I don't know what it is about Toyota that I feel like they're always overly priced, but they're pretty in line, man.
I'm actually, because I hadn't looked at the Trail Hunter, surprised. But I mean, and Unbridled put it in the comments a little bit ago. I mean, she's got a 24 Wild Track Lux package fully loaded. And that's right in line with where she was at. So as much as we want to scoff at 66, like that's what we're paying. Like and if you look across the board to what the Jeep's doing and everything else, I think that's what. And honestly, I mean, 66 for the Trail Hunter is probably because we decked out a Badlands and it came in over 70. So I mean, I think you're right. There's sort of a historical stigma to Toyota being higher priced than everybody else, but it was always an okay thing because the quality of Toyota. I paid more for my Toyota, but it's going to last me 40 years, and I don't have to worry about it. So everyone has always been okay with paying more because, like you said, the quality has always been there.
Well, Michael Nice said it's just an easy monthly payment, right?
Right. I mean, what's 84 months? What's the real going down right now on the grams and stuff like that? $295 a month for 482 months or whatever it is.
Douglas Blair corrected me. The 25s do have electric in the sport Wranglers. So I do remember though, 23 somewhere in there, you can still get roll up windows in those. And the Slate, if you want roll up windows, the Slate still has roll up windows. So there you go. But yeah, looking at the Trail Hunter, this is kind of their big bad boy. The one thing that bums me out about them though is colors. This green is amazing. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Past that, they're on the them and Ford must have got together because you get green, black, gray, and white, and that's all you get.
And I would probably be willing to pay that $900 upcharge to get a different color into this.
You give me they had a solar orange or something, solar octane, I think they called it last year. I would love a bright, fun color like that because, I said in one of my videos the other day, I like obnoxious cars.
Right.
And this isn't for Toyota. This is an obnoxious vehicle. And they went so subtle on it. I don't know if it's because they had we're stuck to bronze wheels and not every color is going to look good with bronze wheels, or what was going on.
Part of me wonders if it's not the package because it's the Trail Hunter. You don't want, according to Jeep, you want every obnoxious color. If we can get fuchsia lime green, then
whoa, guy.
Jeep's going to do it for you. But I'm wondering if they weren't trying to tone things back because to me, when you talk, and you saw it in the Everglades when Bronco rolled that out, certain packages and what they're going for are supposed to have a certain earthy quality to it. And I think that limits their color scope. and you wind up with, you know, something like this with 4 choices.
Right. But are you seriously telling me though, you're okay with the bland colors?
Oh no, like I said, if I could get an up, you know, you look at all their other packages, $500 upcharge for this, you know, $900 upcharge for that. Do I want to do, you know, maybe I want it the green of my shirt. I want money green rolling down there so everybody knows.
Money.
Right?
Now see, you need this 392. It matches you.
Right.
I will
always
say this,
give it to
though.
Jeep. Jeep always has straight out
Yes.
the gate the wildest color palettes, and you know why other manufacturers, especially in the off-road community where everybody's trying to stand out from the crowd with what they're doing, why doesn't everybody offer it?
Yes, of course, Jeep loves to. Like they've got to get past this white costs you nothing for a paint color, but every other color is $600. Just make everything $600 more expensive. I don't know what the marketing play is. I'm sure there is some marketing play to that, but no, if Ford did something like this in a Raptor, dude, I would crap my pants, man. I would be like, Kelly, sorry. I know we're gonna be in a lot of debt because Daddy's got to have the lime green, and she would not drive it, which would be great for me as well. Then I get my Bronco back that I tried to buy in 2020 for me. Somehow I got my vehicle back, but no, like I'm not saying that like Toyota needs to go to this extreme for colors, but between them and Ford, man, you got to do something. Like you can't for Ford, you can't rely on the heritage of that vehicle and the colors. The only colors that go with it are those heritage colors. And for Toyota, you know, we don't live in a bland world, guys. we live in a world full of colors. And please add some, which they do. I do want to bring this back up that they in other trims they offer colors, Mark.
Yeah,
so just not the ones you would want.
But I think, like to what I was saying, I think because of that build, it's supposed to hearken to certain connotations of outdoorsiness and wildlife. So they're kind of pigeonholing those colors. Whereas something like, you know, this, you've got so many more options because it's expected to be seen on the street.
Mm-hmm. Or this, I love this blue. Christ, if Ford would do something like that. I mean, what they did the one color for like 4 months. There was the blue that they came out with the Heritage, the limited.
The Robin?
No, it was I forget if Allie was here, she would know. Like it was just they barely sprayed 2 of them and it was like, oh, moving on. Like, oh, whoa, we don't do colors here, guy. We don't do colors. But no, like this Heritage blue from a Toyota in person is great. It is a great color. And for the most part, they will from their normal trims. But man, if you want to pay for their vehicle, nope, you don't get any fun colors. So I've seen 1 or 2 of these floating around Murfreesboro. And I live in a fairly big town now, so it's not like I shouldn't see more of these, but I'm not seeing them floating around.
Right.
Why do you think that is? They've been out for 4 months or more.
I think I've seen some negative reviews on the new 4Runners.
Mm-hmm.
So I think people are kind of, you know, being a little
peak blue. Michael and I said, yes.
There you go.
Correct.
Thanks, Michael. I think people are being pushed off on it. I think I know I saw some videos with spacing and stuff like that, and it looked to be getting less leg room in the back. And being a big guy myself, like I had seen that video knowing that we were going to get one. I was like, I'm kind of interested to see how this fits. But I think people aren't giving the brand a chance enough yet that there's been enough upgrades to really make some noise about it.
Well, I think honestly though, I think the biggest thing that I know of has been the move to 4-cylinder. I think it's just hurt the brand more than anything.
But everybody's moving to 4-cylinder.
They have to.
I don't care what company you are. The emissions ratings are at such a point. Everyone's doing 4-cylinders. Like that's just what it is. You're going to get a turboed 4-cylinder and call it a day. And then if you want to do something aftermarket to zoom them back up again, cool. But you're going to get really limited V6s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it just seems like V8 just died. Now V6s seemingly are dying as well. But they do make up with it. I will say though, once again I haven't drove the 4Runner yet, but I have drove the Tacoma. The little 4-cylinder sounds like a diesel. It's a little loud.
Yeah.
I don't know if some of that is because if you open the hood, the engine looks tiny under the hood. I don't know if it's just a room to be an echo chamber for what's going on there.
Sure.
But I drove the Trail Hunter, and I've drove the TRD Pro of that truck, and they've both been the same way. And that's the hybrid version as well. But the 4-cylinder in the Land Cruiser that I've driven, same way, just kind of rattly diesel like, but they get good fuel economy. You're 2 cylinders less, so you're getting less pollution.
Right.
And as long as you get, as long as you're comfortable in the interior of the vehicle, you're happy about your purchase that way. Me and you and a lot of our viewers are the exception because we like to go fast or do performance things. I think most people that buy the 4Runner, I think we look at it with rose-colored glasses because most people buy a 4Runner because they've got a small family and they want to get from point A to point B to soccer practice or wherever. I need a little extra cargo room. And that's all they think about this vehicle. Where I think enthusiasts like us about who just love vehicles, I think we always down them a little bit, which has hurt the brand a little bit because there is that big, strong off-road community, the overland community for these vehicles. And so if they're pooping on it, that means that journalists will pick up on that. And then it feeds into it. And not that they're going to kill this vehicle, but it can really damage the launch of this vehicle for sure.
Yeah. And I think, and you brought it up earlier, there's just too many models. Like you could streamline production, the dealerships, everything, if you just streamlined what it was you're doing. I mean,
let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 models of that vehicle, and it's just price point differences.
You need 6.
Yeah, really. Look, SR5 to the TRD Sport, $7,000. So that's a significant price difference. Okay.
Yeah.
TRD Sport to TRD Off-Road, it's maybe $2,000. Like, and then we start doing that. $2,000.
Right.
Like, give people options.
You could kill half those models in the blink of an eye. And I mean, I would go SR5 to TRD Off-Road. Why
SR5 though used to be a good trim.
Absolutely. Oh yeah. The SR5, like that was like their mid-level, high mid-level package was the SR5. Mm-hmm. That was what I had in my Tundra was an SR5. And I thought I was the bee's knees, man. Like I thought that was bougie. But yeah, if SR5 is the base now, then I mean, I wouldn't even look at the Sport, drop that and jump straight to TRD Off-Road and start getting those better packages.
A lot of the influencers and such, and good YouTube channels like our buddy over at TRD John, the TRD Off-Road was the one they all bought because you could get it where the hybrid you couldn't get just yet. Yeah. And I've been following what John's been doing to his TRD Off-Road, and man, he's built a very nice vehicle. He got the I'm going to say Peak Blue. He got the blue in that, but then he went and had Expel put the flat matte finish on it. Dude, it looks freaking awesome, man. And I think for our viewers, you have to understand too, because generally I buy the highest trims you can get. That doesn't mean it's the best for you. I generally do that because press vehicles you get the highest trim. Like whatever they give me and Mark to drive in Arizona, I guarantee you is not the SR5, with an AM FM radio, and that's it.
Right.
They're going to be, even if it's the TRD Off-Road or whatever package, it's going to be loaded. So that's generally why I do that. But I think there's value for people looking. If you're interested in one of these, there's definitely value. But I really do. I feel like though the sweet spot is that $50,000 price range.
Yep. I think that's where most people are most at today's market, today's price ranges. I think that 55 to 65 is the comfort zone where you think that you're getting out the door the best overall package and quality that you can for your buck.
Yes. And I'm looking up currently the average, where'd it go? The average market priced sale right now is $49,973. That's a lot. That's I remember I bought a Honda Element in 2005 for $18,000, and that damn thing was the mid trim, but it had every feature I wanted. And if that was $18,000, now we're talking apples and oranges of what that vehicle is comparatively. But yeah, we live in a world now where if you're not spending $50,000, you're not getting anything. Me and Kelly in 17, we leased a Nissan Titan for the Nissan channel that I had at the time. And it was $53,000, Mark, and it was loaded. It was the Pro 4X Titan, every off-road feature you want, rear locker, all the anything you want, and it was $53,000, man. So how the times have changed,
right? Seriously.
What was your wild track when you looked at it?
When I got done putting everything.
Let me guess. 58.
No, my wild track was 56.
Okay. Okay.
So, and that I added, but I didn't I got the cloth seats. I didn't upgrade to leather and stuff, but I added a couple things. But mine stickered at 56. And then I paid 27.
Right. Michael Nice says Dave's got that YouTube income to afford those high-end trims. Like I said earlier in the video, guys, my income's been cut in half. So this is we're all suffering right now. Not that my income on YouTube has been I couldn't sustain myself on it. I'll say that. So yeah, 50s, so mid 50s there, or 49s what that vehicle's at, or the sales price are. You know, you look at, let's see, what do they have for 49? So the off-road, you can get the off-road trim roughly 49. Let's be honest though. Let's just quickly see what I'm going Supersonic Red just because Heritage Blue, just because I want to quickly do this. I'm not going to really add any features, but there's the iForce Max engine, part-time 4-wheel drive, 8-speed automatic transmission. Any other? Nope. Hit finish build. 50,000, right? Yeah, because of shipping, which is hilarious to me because these come from Japan, that's part of the appeal of 4Runner is
right.
People in the Toyota community always feels like the Japanese versions are built better than like the Tacomas that built here in the United States. I don't know if they are or not, but I love their shipping, and shipping is $1,450. It's getting to be $2,000 now for anything domestic. And you're like, they didn't have to put them on a boat to get them here.
Yeah, but I mean, I want to say it was probably, I think 12 for rail for my Bronco from Detroit down, to Middle Tennessee.
Yeah, but have you priced that lately? It's $2,000 now.
Yeah, I haven't looked at the shipping on them.
Yeah, it would be $2,000.
But and that's the crazy portion of that. I mean, everything. Well, I mean, look at the Raptor R that I looked at the other day that I sent you the photos of. It was
that up.
That was
what dealership was that for?
What's that?
What dealership was that?
Rieselman Ford in Dixon, Tennessee. But it was MSRP'd at 117, which you hit right nail on the head. And it was stickered at 137. And I didn't even pull. It was so expensive they didn't even have the window sticker in it. I couldn't find any of the details on it.
Well, because I remember you text me and said, "Hey, you were showing me a picture of that, and you what was it, 137 or something?" You said,
"Yeah, 137."
Said, yeah, that thing retails for 117. Didn't even know the sticker, seen it, but I know the price of those things, and I knew what they did. Crank it up, $20,000.
I mean, holy cow! And don't be wrong, it was a nice looking truck, but I mean, that's slightly less than what I paid for, a house.
I paid $70,000 for my first house.
Right. It's seriously, yeah, I've paid $140 for a house, $137 for a pick 'em up truck that I can't use to its full extent in Tennessee is mind blowing to me.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. I'm trying to find that thing on there now. Let's see if I can do a search here. Raptor. This was hilarious. You guys will love it. It's a great color though.
Yeah.
Rapid red, baby. I don't see it popping up on their website. I can't believe they sold it already.
Oh, I promise you they haven't. Not at that. Hang on a sec. I'll see if I can't.
Yeah, it's funny of what we're talking about $50,000 anymore, and I remember talking about that Titan and now we leased it because we knew we didn't want to own it. But I remember thinking, I've never bought a vehicle so expensive in my life. Like, how will? And then the Bronco, the first Bronco was $54,000, and now the $93,000 Raptor. Of course, we didn't pay that for it. We saved about 8 or 10 grand somewhere in there for that. But yeah, like in my lifetime, I would have never thought. I remember thinking Lamborghinis and stuff were $100,000, and how many millions of dollars would you have to afford something like this? And now, dude, it's getting ridiculous what these things are going for.
Yeah, like it was there for a second and then it was gone.
Yep, maybe they sold it.
Yeah, that would be crazy. Because I searched Raptor real quick and it popped up and I went to capture it. And then that one disappeared. Now they're just showing the other Raptor that they had sitting out there. So maybe it is gone.
Well, you know who I bet. Let's see. I'm gonna go to Murfreesboro Ford. This will be fun because they usually have stuff like this. I'm curious. Do they have any Raptors? I talked to Kelly the other day. When you brought that up, I was talking to Kelly about, man, I really would like to have a Raptor R. Really would, man. But I can't justify. I can barely justify the Bronco Raptor. Like,
we talked about here, if we were to get a Raptor, getting an F-150 and going that route with it.
Yeah, I mean, how for the Raptor R, Raptors can barely do anything as a truck.
Right.
Let's add another.
And Raptor R, it had some, and I wish I had done more photos or a video of it while sitting there waiting on the Ranger. It just had some really weird features to it. Like the little DRLs down on the fender that came out like little knife points and stuff. Like, I was like, that's just going to catch all sorts of junk and debris. Like, and I'm sure it's a safety thing or some unique feature it had to have. But yeah, it was just, there's some oddities to the Raptor R that I was like, I don't understand why this is in here.
Dude, I will say though, if you ever get to drive one,
oh yeah, I'm going to drive the hell out of it.
You're never going to want to stop. They have Murfreesboro Ford has a few Raptors in transit. It looks like Shelter Green, which is I think that's the color me and Kelly drove, if I remember right.
Yeah.
You can still get the Velocity, or what's the Antimatter Blue? You can still get that in that truck, but 83,000 or 82,000 MSRP, which is funny because they have it scratched out there. Oh, want a lower price? Unlock the bonus savings, and I guarantee you they are still going to be like $95,000 for this truck.
So they've got one Raptor over at my local dealership where I got my Ranger at, and just got her Bronco, and it's MSRP'd at 93,000. So, and they don't have a markup on that.
Oh wow, I love this custom colors. Oh great! So they've taken a Raptor and they've modified the crap out of it for what? Let's see. Here's
they did.
Yep. Oh look, now we can get more for it. Here's the 37 package, which is probably how I would buy one. Because I just love the way they look. I'm not a big fan of the new graphics that they're doing on the sides.
Yeah.
I mean, I say no to one if Ford said, "Hey, here's one to run around in for a while." Let's see. I want to find the Maroni. Sometimes you can actually find the Maronis on these things. View window sticker. Let me pull this up. It's the one thing about this software I use. It's not always as fun. It makes it easy. All right. There we go. So yeah, $92,465, and that's for the F-150 normal Raptor.
Yep.
And you know why they can do that now? Because they figured out they could get 115 for the Raptor R initially. So why would we not do this now? That's crazy to me that they can get that for it. Amazing vehicle.
What's a Raptor Bronco? What's a Raptor running for now? 80 something?
90 to 100.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess you put a Raptor name in front, other than the bargain basement Ranger Raptor now. I guess that's the way to buy your Raptors till next year. And somehow they're like, well, that's now an $85,000 truck. We put specialty paint on it. Ultimately, though, we'll wind this one down.
Hey, just sent the Raptor from my screenshot in production chat.
Okay. Get there. Thanks, Jess.
Working in the production team. Way to go. Not here, but still here.
She can't let go. Yes, here it is. So the Raptor R 137.
Yeah. Like I said, it's a nice looking truck, but
how many the fun of the salesman is when some 25-year-old kid comes up and goes, hey, I want to buy that, and pulling that credit. Go, you don't qualify for a $40,000 car, guy.
Right.
You know what? Back in the day, I was probably that stupid kid that would have tried to do that. Had no clue of what things cost. No, I lost Mark. He's dreaming.
I don't know, man. Like that's why I was looking at that Raptor. Like that thing's crazy.
Great. Now Mark's gonna have to have a Raptor, so I'll have to go buy a new one.
Nope.
No, big trucks are fun. Kelly loves big trucks. I'm okay with them. But mid-sizes for me, where's that?
Yeah, I'm not gonna jump up. I mean, I love the Ranger. That's where I'm gonna stay at.
Yep. Michael Nice says Ranger Raptor with portals would still be cheaper.
I don't know, man. Portals aren't cheap.
Yep. Unbridled says it won't fit in the garage. Well, yours won't fit in the garage.
Hers just barely tucks in. We're worried about mine with what I've got coming. So.
Right. So can we talk about what your future is yet?
Yeah, it's on the street, baby. We can talk all about it.
Ooh, it's on the street. The word is out. So Mark is not just joining the off-road community. He's about to be part of the off-road community. Mark, you left your corporate job to sling aftermarket parts.
I did. I had an offer come to me from a local Tennessee off-road shop, Music City 4x4, to come in and work for them. So I have left my previous employer, or I will in a couple of weeks. I'm working out my full month notice with them. Had a great time over the past 9 years working for my current company. But yeah, I'm really excited to get in, started with this new company, and spend my days selling parts. Like this is going to be just an awesome kind of opportunity, and to help the company grow. We've got 2 locations right now, and they keep outgrowing their shops. So, and we do everything, all vehicles. I've seen everything from a Ram getting lifted and leveled to a Jeep getting re-geared, to just getting the Bronco done there. I got the Ranger leveled off there. So
it's funny that Mark bought something for his Bronco coming up, and he was talking to this person, and as the story goes, he was like, we had a big sales day the other day, and Mark was like, yeah, that was me.
Yeah, this guy. I was like, yeah, if that shop had an excellent sales day, it's probably the money I spent there with what I've got coming up. I dropped the Bronco off tomorrow morning at 8, as a matter of fact. So it'll be finished while we're in Arizona, and then I'll pick it up when we get back. So be excited and anxious for that. But yeah, super excited for a new journey, new adventure, new company, helping people, all of our viewers and stuff like that, as they come in through Middle Tennessee, and come to us and say, hey, I want to build an off-road vehicle, or I want, and we do everything from, like I said, lights to regearing to lifts and levels and tires and wheels. And we have a full alignment shop. And in the future, we hope to offer wraps and PPF as well. So
nice. Well, having an off-road shop that can actually do alignments is big, because a lot of them don't want to. For the equipment's expensive to get into that, so they don't want to do that. And I used to only trusted, there was a 4-wheel shop locally that I would only trust to do all my alignments on my vehicles, because they don't just go by what the book says. They like really read the vehicles out and make sure that it's to the, there's not a factory spec for a lift that you put on a vehicle. Everything changes. Right. So having knowledgeable staff like that, any chance they'll ship parts, Mark, because I'm not as local as I'd like to be, but maybe I need parts shipped to me.
Well, we've got a shop in Hendersonville that's not far from you, so you can run up the street and pick those
Mark,
up.
I'm trying to sell this to the viewers, buddy.
I don't know the full offers of the company yet. Like I said, a young company, only a year or two old. My location here in Clarksville has only been open since September. So yeah, I don't know the full breadth of the business yet. But I'm sure if we can get it done, we'll get it done.
Nice. I'm excited though. I think for ATN Off-Road, it's going to be huge for you guys. What some of the stuff you want to do over there. Obviously we got some more off-road videos coming over there, guys. So be sure to stick over there with the channel and watch some videos. Even check out some of my old Nissan videos. I need some watch time over there again. Is what I'm saying. It's been a little bare. The cupboard's bare over there right now. I know, but Mark, I've got to get you marked down for I watched the video of Iron Gap Road again that I did. And believe it or not, I will watch my videos from time to time to try to remember things and I've watched that video probably 10 times the past couple of weeks, trying to remember the trail. And I cannot wait to get there. If we can't get my buddy Jim to go or to settle on a time, it just may be me, you, Jess, and Kelly, because
let's go.
I'm itching to hit this road again, because it's a road. I mean, now it's an abandoned road from time gone by, but it's not like going to Windrock, or it's just you're out. Nobody knows you're out there kind of thing. So I'm excited to get you guys out there. I know this time I want to go up it instead of down it. So which is going to take the adventure even further. But I want to show the Jeep guys that hey, Broncos kick ass, man. They can get it done.
Well, and I mean, when we talked the other day, like that's what I want to do with everything I've got going on with the Bronco, in the coming week. Get out there and test it. Like, you sink that kind of money into upgrading and outfitting your vehicle. It's not just for driving down the streets and getting looks, although, that's fun too. Everyone, customizes for their own reasons, their own ways. But no, I mean, when we put any part on our vehicle, be it, in the mud, cutting and creating wire harnesses for bumper lights, or sending a vehicle off to a shop for some new squishy parts, we do it because we want to get out there and test and find out what that stuff's like. And I'll do a full, we get out to Iron Gap, I'm going to review the work I had done, not by the shop, but by the company that provided it. And, give my honest feedback of, hey, I've run Ford Bronco standard stuff through little trails around here and with you guys out at Windrock. And this is how it performed. And now I've run it out on some new stuff, and this is how it performed. What kind of difference does that make?
Yeah, no, it should be a good time. Next week's show is up in the air at the moment. We'll I don't know when we get back. Honestly, probably not going to happen, because
we land at 9 p.m. We're not doing a show.
Okay. I couldn't remember when we got in, and my Monday is, maybe we do it on Monday. I don't know. Mark's probably working by then.
I don't know. I think my Monday is standard. So we could probably do a 7 on Monday if you're up for it and stuff like that.
Yeah. So, guys, next week, stick with us. I'll definitely post up here on YouTube. Biggest takeaway tonight: cars are expensive. The Toyota is actually in line with what everybody else is. So don't think of, don't let it scare you. If you've been interested in it and you heard those initial scary prices, go check it out, man. Find you a good dealer though. Toyota is the worst dealerships for markups that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But there are good ones out there. And if you're willing to travel just a little bit, there's a good one willing to work with you. Go over to our website, allterrainnation.com. I posted a new article today about the 4Runner. And I'm trying to get steady with that. It's been a struggle, and it's been a struggle because I'm all over the map right now. So there you go. I can breathe now, Mark.
There you go.
So whether it be 2-wheel drive,
4-wheel drive,
it doesn't matter what you drive, guys. As long as you're having fun, you enjoy it, and make the payments. This has been your All Terrain Nation. I'm your host, David Boyd.
Mark King.
And we're out. Peace, everybody.
Peace.
Love y'all.